Hello, everyone, and thank you for staying from after the break. It's really an honor to be here. I moved out to Ontario in 2021 after living here for 3 decades on the land of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam people. And I can truly say that it is on this land that I learned to think and be and write. And so even when I make my land acknowledgements in Kingston and say I'm on the land of the Anishinaabe and I'm so tired, I can't remember. Anishinaabe and who? Let me see. Hey? Haudenosaunee people, yes. Even though I orientate myself there now, it is here that I learned to be who I was, so I'm grateful for this place. And I'm really grateful to have this book here because I'm finally a member of Talon. What? I was telling Katrina, I think I did, that all the cool people get published in Talon. So like, wow. It's like when the cool kids allow you to sit with them, right? That's how it feels. And this is also a really beautifully designed book, so Les for her design, and Beth Stewart for the art. Beth is sitting back there, right? It's very, very beautiful artwork. Cecily looked it over and helped me to edit it. Katrina polished it. So many people have championed this work. And so I'm very, very grateful. And half of them are in this room, and you're all beloved, so thank you. I'm going to read some poems today. They're called Pi Day poems. And they're called Pi Day poems because I started to write them on March the 14th, which is one of 3 favorite days in the year. The other 2 being Halloween and May the 4th, because May the 4th be with you, right? So March the 14th is Pi Day, and on Pi Day 2020, I decided, let's just start documenting stuff. And so these poems will not be new to you because you will have, some of these will come back as memories. They're mostly documentations, recordings of what I heard in the news. And in those days, I got all my news from Google News. Yeah, so there will be lots of references to British stuff. And it's not that I'm British or anything, but that's just what I saw on the Google News. Song and dread. Sometimes there's song, and sometimes there's dread. Sometimes an awfulness thick as lava crawls up the wall. Sometimes there's gratitude, and other times not. Sometimes the dreariness punctuates and levitates. Sometimes there's glory in the wearer of the tunic. Sometimes a halo or a cloud. And sometimes there's music there. Pi Day 1, March 14th, 2020. Here we are, straddling the yet, because after this, we can't reclaim innocence, and after this, there won't be comfort in not knowing. Pi Day 13. Last night, weighted footsteps, weighted footnotes, dragged me through sleep, footnotes as foundational, as creep, as notice board, as conversation dump, traditional, hefty, like this morning. The account of the black woman in Britain whose husband was told that she was not a priority, and she died. She died. She died from this thing. And now him still at home with his diabetes and her body like a footnote. Pi Day 14. Today, an impossibly bent over tree seeks my eye. Skeletal branches budding, this is the season. Deep yellow forsythia, this is the season. Blue-gray, white cherry blossoms, this is the season. In Kingston, spring is not even an idea yet. This is also the season of large pink magnolia petals like tongues against the sky. This is the season. There has been a before, and there will be an after, with or without us on these lands. Pi Day 21. Navels begin to creep up towards the sternum. Most people won't notice because they are drawn to the numbers on the screen, because they're stupefied by the facts, because they have left the solid of their bodies and now they leave no footprints and cast no shadows either. Pi Day 22. 2 days ago, a train engineer in LA drove his train at full speed, intending to crash it into the USNS Mercy. You only get this chance once, he said. The whole world is watching, he said. I had to, he said. People don't know what's going on, he said. The engineer was charged with 1 count of train wrecking. Pi Day 24. Hero defined as singular, those whose bravery matters. Plural, those for whom everyday acts are perceived as courageous. Also plural, those who do the work we rather don't. Those for whom a $2 raise is sufficient hazard pay. Those without whom the city starves. Those without whom garbage is not picked up. Liquor stores shut tight. Transit will not run. Those for whom we beat pots in the evening. Those for whom we shout, play music, clap. Those who meekly obey at the grocery stores as they yell at us not to move to the next yellow line until we have been directed to do so. Those who allow us to stay home, stay safe, stay away from this thing against which not all employers can or will provide protection. Because we deserve to stay alive and they deserve the hero worship, and we need heroes now more than ever. Archaic for hero, who are youthful, muscular, and wear capes. Pi Day 28, I like this one. Some thought that sports commentators might be out of work. Remember, there was nothing live anymore. The general trend from the United Nations is that the UK and US is still more deaths every day than the last, and Japan joins the death track chart, and now Italy, and now US has cut straight through Italy's curve and is on course for the highest death toll globally. Within 5 days, Australia is looking promising, UK parallel to Italy, Indian infections picking up speed after slow early pace. Number of cases in Spain surpasses the 150,000 mark. The commentators have found a new sport. Pi Day 29. This one is also taken from the headlines. Headline: UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, having led the anti-immigrant Brexit campaign, is being treated in a hospital system where 8 UK doctors who have died from coronavirus were all immigrants. Headline: UK coronavirus live. Boris Johnson continues to improve. Death toll rises in England, Scotland, and Wales. Headline: Downing Street says UK Prime Minister is in good spirits after third night in intensive care. Headline: Doctor who warned Boris Johnson about PPE dies after contracting coronavirus. Quote from UK Prime Minister: more families, many more families are going to lose loved ones before their time. Pi Day 32. This was fun. A woman says, it would be a shame to stay at home and let the government tell you what to do. Not everyone drank the Kool-Aid. The man alongside her says, look at all the people, he says, here for a march against tyranny, he says, to show the world, he says, that we're not okay with unlawful lockdowns and quarantines, he says. Not everyone drank the Kool-Aid, he says again, on another lovely day in Vancouver. Pi Day 34. After this one, I'll just read one more, and then I'll say thank you. We're far enough inside this thing to remember when it was passed on through travel, We're also far enough in to recall days when it was clear that travelers were vectors. It wasn't that long ago before it became clear that local transmission was a thing, and then nursing homes, and then crowd restrictions, first 500, and then 50, and then clusters, and then daily updates by politicians and top doctors, and graphs that read exponentially, and figures passed out, local and international transmission, and then border shutdowns and interprovincial shutdowns, and finally lockdown. And so the authorities in Gwangju count as we do, local and international transmissions. And of the 111 Africans tested, 19 were imported cases, the report states. And having largely stamped out in-country transmission of the coronavirus, authorities are worried that one of the biggest risks of a second wave in the epidemic stems from infected people coming from abroad, the report further states. In the meantime, just to be safe, a video shared on local social media focuses on a notice taken from a McDonald's restaurant in Gwangju. We have been informed that from now on, Black people are not allowed to enter the restaurant. The restaurant has apologized, stating that the ban on Black people was not representative of our inclusive values. Immediately learning of an unauthorized communication to our guests at a restaurant in Gwangju, we immediately closed the restaurant and added that it had conducted diversity and inclusion training in the branch. This book is divided into 3 main sections. The Pi Days, which I started to write, and I was going to write 100 of them like I did for 100 days. And then I thought myself, that's not original. And I also got tired. So after 74, I thought, oh, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. So I stopped. But 50 of them made it into here, and I'm grateful for that. And Katrina believed me when I said we need to have the sources in there. And it was really hard to put the sources in the book and make it not look like a textbook, right? Or like an academic essay or something like that. And so there's this fun section called Breadcrumbs, where all the sources from these poems are just laid out, just laid out. No HTTP, no punctuation, no nothing. It's just fun. So it's not to be read, but that's where the credits are. And who reads the credits anyway? And then the second part is called, the third part is called Fine Prints. And these are poems that I wrote after writing 100 Days, and I was so tired. So I think that these are the poems that saved me, and I like them for that. So I'll read with the one that I actually really like. Well, I like them, but this one I actually really like. It's called But Today We Wake Up. Both of us barrel-chested. We look at each other and laugh and laugh and laugh. Funny that both of us have lost all evidence of youth, and we laugh until we ache. And then it becomes clear that our belly muscles, the ones that used to hurt from laughter, have now relaxed and opened. And now we have more space for grief. And now we know each other more as containments for so much more. Thank you very much.